Hi guys, just having my opinion, and it's my opinion only, it's not going to be shared by everyone I'm sure, about Phil Heath being the best Mr. Olympia. Now I've been around for quite a long time, followed the bodybuilding scene for, it seems forever. I originally started following when Haney first started winning, and they even saw him in person, so you can see that's going back quite a way. Now going through the Olympias, and so, yeah, obviously some of these guys are going to be in different eras and it's not going to be comparable at all, but I'll go through the ones that I know that I've really sort of studied and focused on. So Haney, fantastic bodybuilder, role model, etc. Weak in the arms, weak in the legs, particularly from the rear. Beautiful shape, small waist, huge back, but there was weaknesses there, but best of his era. Going on to Dorian's awesome, and I saw Dorian live as well. From the side, he's as thick as he is from the front. He's a monster of a guy, but he's got weaknesses as well. Look, downstairs, the legs, great. Probably quads are a bit, need a bit more sweep, but he sort of issued in the really hard to find look in the rear. I think hamstrings, glutes. His back was enormous. But chest probably a little bit weak, arms weak, particularly after his injury, and he started to get a bit bloated in the stomach as well in the last couple of Olympias. Nonetheless, I think he's a great bodybuilder. On to Ronnie. Ronnie, I think Ronnie's great again. He's got some awesome body parts. His back, crazy. That's going from pretty much his head right down to his ankles. Everything there was large and hard. Okay, let's just excuse his calves for a bit. I really like Ronnie in the early years, but in his later years, well, even I think every year it seems his goal was to put on more size rather than polish what he already had. Because I think he had a fantastic physique in 98, 99, and towards the middle end of his career, he was a big unit, but I think he lost a lot of cuts in his legs from the front. It just looked unhealthy for me. His stomach was a bit bloated. I didn't like him as much. Jay Cutler, I won't say too much about Jay, and look, I know he's got a lot of fans, but he just hasn't been one of my favourite bodybuilders, and nothing against the guy. He seems like a really good guy and really a role model for the sport, but I just didn't like his physique. It was too blocky for me. His legs were ridiculous. They were huge. Something didn't fit for me. I just didn't like his physique, but all credit to him. I think he was the best of his era, for sure. 2007 or 2008, was it 2007? We had Dexter. Dexter, I think Dexter's one of the best bodybuilders for the last 15 years. He is, I don't recall him ever coming in out of shape. Always as hard as a rock. His waist looks great, even off season with a bit of bloat. But do his legs really match his upper body? I kind of don't think so. I think the sweep's okay. I just don't think the details there from the front. Calves maybe a bit weak. And standing next to some of these other guys, I think he looks great just standing relaxed. And even by himself, but standing next to the other guys, I think he loses a bit in size, and it shows. But look, he's worthy of 2007 or 2008, definitely. He deserved a crown at some point, that guy, just for consistency and quality of muscle. Now on to Phil. Not everyone's cup of tea, this guy, I know. He gets some people offside. But, man, what's the fault with this guy? You know, really. And what I admire about Phil is they call him the gift, and sure, he's got some genetic. And look, they're all genetic freaks up there. That's what I want to say. None of these guys, probably into the top 50 bodybuilders, 100 bodybuilders in the world, I could take every bit of chemical supplementation, massive doses, probably more than these guys, and I'm not going to look like them. It won't matter. And I think a lot of the people hating on these guys are in the same position. They've probably never stood on stage even, and you know, I haven't. I just don't have the genetics, full stop. These guys, they look great even before they touched anything, any enhancements, that's for sure. They're just freaks of nature. Now Phil, I think, is a freak of a freak. His arms are outrageous. His chest is brilliant. His legs, he hasn't got the feathers, but who gives a crap? The cuts in his legs are crazy. His calves are brilliant. And I think calves are sort of ignored a little bit these days with some of these guys, but he doesn't have to hide them. They're awesome. Shoulders, massive caps, and he's got the detail top to bottom, both on the front and back. Now, what I really admire about this guy, he realised early on that he was narrow and he had to do what he had to do to make himself look comparable to the other guys. Those shoulders are just enormous now, and they really cap off and widen his physique. He also knows how to pose it. I see a lot of relaxed poses of him, not in the competition because he's always on point there, but outside competition he looks narrow through the shoulders because he's not consciously making himself look wide. So he's always thinking, how am I going to look in front of the judges, in front of everyone else? There's always a camera going to be taking a photo of me. So he's always looking great. Now his back was much maligned early on as being too small, and that's probably because of his arms were dominating the back exercises, no question in my mind. But he took that on board. He thought, instead of, I see some of these guys, and I'm not going to name any names, but they smash and smash and smash their good body parts because they're good and they stand out. But what does that do for the weaker parts of their body? And it doesn't make them a better bodybuilder. It just makes these parts look better and bigger, and they get all the calls from the crowd because they love it. But are they going to win a contest with it? They might jag a couple, but they're not going to win the Olympia. No chance. So Phil's worked on his back, and arguably he has the best back in bodybuilding today. The detail is amazing. He works it from every angle. You can tell in his videos, and it shows in his videos. And it's not a shallow back in length as well. It goes from his very top through the traps right down to pretty much down to his ass. It's just muscle and detailed and thick. I mean, there's some good guys out there, but and probably would have better back genetics than he does. But he's just smart. He's trained it. Know what he had to do to be the best, and he's got it. Now, a lot of people don't like this guy because he's got an ego, and I tell you what, if I was the best in the world of anything, probably even if I was even good at anything, I'd probably have an ego. And there's probably a lot of wankers out there with big egos for no reason, and this guy has a reason. He's the best in the world. But you know, I think a lot of it's showmanship, and I think he tries to get people offside. Look, everyone, it'd be great if everyone was like Lee Haney, a humble champion, but it's just not going to be. And look, if people say, oh, Ronnie was a great guy, look, here's a photo of Ronnie wearing a crown and a cape on the king at the Olympia. Now, he is a good guy, but still, it's an arrogant move for sure, and people consider him a bit of a wanker for that. I don't judge him on it. I think it's all good showmanship and it's all good fun. But look, this guy Phil, look, and the only thing that's going to lose him this competition, and probably lose any of the competitions in the next few years, is conditioning. He's had a couple of years where he's been a little bit off. Maybe one year was very marginal, and maybe he was a bit lucky to win it. But let me tell you, someone else has really got to dial it in and get it their very best, and this guy's got to really stink it up to lose, in my opinion. You know, it is all these points are my thoughts, no one else's. So if you disagree, that's fine and good. If you hate Phil, that's fine too. But look, I think he needs the credit for what he is. He's the champion, and I've yet to see someone that's better than him, top to bottom. Okay, guys, thanks for that. Thanks for letting me have my thoughts. Catch you later. Bye.